So if you haven't heard the news, there's a brand new Green Ranger on the rise, and for those who read the comics, we know who this character is, but there are many people who don't read the comics or aren't familiar with the Power Rangers comic universe, so this video will be giving you a history of that character, Matthew Cook. Welcome to the history of Matthew Cook. Now, Matthew was first introduced in issue 1 of Go-Go Power Rangers as the boyfriend of Kimberly Hart. That's right, this guy came before this guy. And Matt, right from the get-go, is introduced as a very, very likable character to the audience. He's on the football team, but he's not a jerk. He's looking out for Billy and stuff like that. He's really good to Kim when they go out on dates, although having a sense of humor about their mishaps. But Matt is shown to be a caring character who is always willing to help. But eventually he would be thrusted into the battle between good and evil in something that he doesn't understand. Matt is eventually kidnapped by Rita Repulsa, where he's made her experiment, being held prisoner on the moon, where Rita's plan is to make a putty clone of Matt, learning about the Rangers from the inside out, breaking their relationship apart. And this is a really interesting plan that Rita has. But what happens to Matt is all kinds of terrible and horrible experiments as he's held on the moon for several weeks while this is going on. And eventually he breaks free with all kinds of dramatic stress and problems, and he's not seen for the longest time. Fast forward a few weeks and Kimberly confronts Matt about not making contact with her or any of her friends. And Matt's response is he's trying to protect her and her friends, thinking that his abduction was somehow connected to the Power Rangers and it wasn't a freak accident. He needs to track down the Power Rangers and see where this leads. And this is really interesting because Matt thinks he's a major player in this large game, but really Matt's just a small piece in this large game, but his role as a supporting character would have a large impact on the story. So while this is going on, Ranger Slayer has showed up in Shattered Grid, and in the climax of Shattered Grid in Go-Go Power Rangers, Matt confronts the character, learning the identity of Kimberly Hart, piecing together who his friends actually are. So Matt confronts him, demanding to know their secret. Well, he wants to know the truth from them, and his friends lie to his face, and this upsets Matt, saying if they don't tell the truth right here, right now, they're never going to see him ever again, or he's going to stop being their friend. And this is a very, very powerful scene because there's barely any dialogue, and Jason, Billy, and Trini hang their heads in shame. Zach looks away and doesn't talk. Kimberly breaks down and starts crying as Matt walks away, frustrated that his friends can't trust them with their secret. And he walks out the door, and it's just a powerful scene. Check it out in the Shattered Grid story arc. Volume 3 of Go-Go Power Rangers is the Shattered Grid story arc. Check it out. So what impact does Matt have on the story after Shattered Grid? Well, he doesn't play any major roles, just a character on the side, but the impact of the Rangers' actions and him walking out on his friends is obviously there. And it impacts Kimberly so much she even goes on a date with Skull, willing to kiss him because she's not over Matt yet, and she's willing to do anything to get back at him, and it's kind of a powerful moment. Once again, check it out. I don't want to spoil it because it's probably one of my favorite moments that Ryan wrote in Go-Go Power Rangers, so check it out for yourself, read it. It's just a really cool moment that Kimberly has with Skull on their date, showing that she's not over Matt yet, and it's just tearing her apart. So Matt and Kimberly eventually have a little reunion in the juice bar in issue 20. It's a nice touching moment as things are going crazy around them. But after that, in Necessary Evil, Matt becomes the supporting character of Kimberly, where she can talk to him about her Ranger problems and her friends in life. And after that, Matt kind of takes a back seat and becomes a supporting character. There is a very interesting moment where Tommy sort of disappears during the whole retelling of White Light, and when Kimberly and Tommy are reunited, they sort of kiss in front of Matt, which Matt sort of makes a face, showing that he's still not over Kimberly maybe, or maybe jealous of Tommy. I don't know, but it's kind of an awkward reunion between the two characters. So after that, Matt appears in MMPR, where apparently he's known Rocky for the longest time. They've been best buds, they've been just chilling out, playing football and stuff like that. But after that, Matt kind of disappears in the storyline, and he might be playing a bigger role in Mighty Morphin later down the line. What does the future of Matthew Cook hold? Well, we'll find out in a couple of issues of Mighty Morphin. And that was a very brief history of Matthew Cook in the Power Rangers comic. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. With that said, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around. Peace out. Take care. Bye.